I was rewatching the movie Elf the other day, which is a popular movie starring Will Ferrell, and it's one of those movies that people tend to watch around Christmas time because it's one of those lighthearted movies that kind of gets everyone in the Christmas spirit. And I've seen it at least a dozen times, but this last time I was watching it, I couldn't help but notice quite a few elements of Christian evangelization take place. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the movie, it's about an elf, Will Ferrell, named Buddy, who goes to New York City because he's in search for his real dad. And it ends up being quite a culture shock for both parties, because here you've got Buddy, who grew up in the North Pole making toys with all these joyous elves all the time, and then you've got Walter Hobbs, publishing CEO, and his family, who are rather boring and busy New York City dwellers. So it ends up being quite a culture shock for both parties, and along the way, Buddy is able to spread some of his Christmas cheer to the family and try to bring some more of that Christmas cheer to New York City. So evangelization is essentially the spreading of the good news of Christ with others and helping them to see the beauty and the love that God is. So where Buddy is trying to spread the Christmas cheer, the Christmas spirit, people who are evangelizing are trying to spread the joy of the Holy Spirit. So that's where you get the comparable concept of evangelization coming in. And in this movie, the way that Buddy goes about spreading the Christmas cheer actually show us three pretty good elements of effective evangelization. The first thing that Buddy does that's comparable to evangelization is that when he was trying to spread the Christmas cheer, he wasn't just talking about Christmas cheer. He wasn't, sitting back and, in a monotone voice, just very boringly talking about the origins and the philosophy of the Christmas spirit. He was actually living out the Holy Spirit. He wasn't just talking about it, he was actually living up to it, because the Christmas cheer had taken over his whole being. The Christmas cheer was who he was. It wasn't just something that he talked about. And he was able to inspire others with that natural joy. People ask him, "Why are you smiling so much?" And he said, "I don't know, I just like to smile. Smiling is my favorite." It got to the point where he didn't even realize that who he was an image of the Christmas cheer, of the Christmas spirit. And in the same way, perhaps it's a little bit over the top. We don't all need to be happy-go-lucky, super hyper Buddy the Elves when we're evangelizing. And so the way that Buddy is Christmas cheer is the way that we need to be the Holy Spirit as we go out and try to spread the Holy Spirit. Now, the second element that I noticed was Buddy was able to spread Christmas cheer even though he thought of himself as a cotton-headed ninny-muggins. There's a scene towards the beginning of the movie where he is making etch-a-sketches with elves, and he only makes 85, and that puts him, 900 and something off schedule. The reason this is because he's a human living in an elf world, so of course he's going to have his inadequacies if he compares himself to the rest of the elves that he works with. Or certainly if he were to compare himself to Santa himself, of course he's not going to be the perfect elf. And yet he still goes out to New York City and is able to inspire others and spread the Christmas cheer. Now, we aren't all Jesus, just like Buddy the Elf is not Santa. And we are not priests or Bible scholars, and we're not all religious ed teachers. Not all of us have that kind of knowledge or those kind of resources available to us. But nonetheless, when we're inspired by the Holy Spirit, we answer our call to discipleship and we set our feelings of inadequacy to the side. And when we realize our unique differences, our special talents like they say in the movies, it helps us understand the way that we can evangelize others that's unique to any other person. So despite the fact that he realizes he's not the perfect elf, he can't make all the toys like an elf can, he can still spread the Christmas cheer like any elf can, because the Christmas spirit dwells in the heart of all of those elves, just like the Holy Spirit dwells in the heart of all of us. And so he's able to effectively spread that Christmas cheer, even though he's not the perfect elf, just as we are able to spread the Holy Spirit, even if we are not perfect beings, even if we do not have all the knowledge that we think is required for us in order to go out and try to share the good news with others. And the final element of effective evangelization that can be found in this movie is that Buddy not only inspires others, but he gives them the tools to go out and spread the Christmas cheers to others. Now, towards the beginning of the movie, he falls in love with this girl, and he also meets his step. And so by the end of the movie, these people who had previously been kind of bored, just kind of going through the motions, not really energized at all for the holiday season, all of a sudden now they are the Christmas spirit. His eventual wife steps up and starts singing Christmas carols to a group of strangers, which ends up getting the clausometer to go up on Santa's sleigh that helps it fly. And the stepbrother that he inspires actually goes out and inspires his father, Walter Hobbs, to quit his job and spend more time with his family and to even sing a couple Christmas carols. And so Buddy the Elf did not just inspire those people and those people said, wow, I like the Christmas cheer, and they just kind of chilled there for the rest of their life and lived happily ever after. No, they were inspired and they were given the tools to go out and effectively share that Christmas cheer with others. And they did, and it did make a difference. And so the same is with evangelization. It's not about making an impact on one or two people and hoping that they remain happily ever after. Evangelization is about giving people the inspiration and the tools that they need to go out and inspire others so that the branching out can continue to spread. Now, there are a lot of other aspects of effective evangelization that I noted throughout the movie that I don't have time to talk about in this video, but if you have the chance, you should watch it and see what other elements of Buddy, what other elements of the things that he does makes him a good model for effective Christian evangelization.